Welcome back to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. My name is President-elect Donald Trump.
I don't want to be Mike Pence. Can we change this? I really do not want to be Mike Pence. Like, I'd be okay with being Trump over Mike Pence. Like, that's how much I hate this.
Oh, welcome back to Breath of the Wild. My name is James Zimster.
And I'm Aden of Blue Couch Productions.
Last episode was a whole lot of garbage, so hopefully we don't have a repeat of that this week.
Yeah. Fun fact, so you guys will probably be seeing this episode not too long after the last one, but recording-wise, after the epic Mulduking episode with Ramsden, shout out to him, by the way, still was really fun to have on, me and Jay took like at least... 2 weeks?
Let me see
at least?
specifically.
Maybe 3?
I can see specifically how long it's been.
We spent a long time away from Breath of the Wild after that episode.
The last episode was recorded on May 15th, and it is currently June 5th.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 weeks today.
3 weeks exactly. Yeah, at around this time.
Yeah. I just want to give some background for that. Basically,
okay, yeah. Go ahead.
We've been. I think we were doing a monthly battle league, battle or something. For some reason, we were all in your server's voice chat.
Probably, yeah.
And we were just we did the monthly battle league battle or whatever it was that we did, and then like Ramsden joined while I was setting up the capture card. And I was like, oh, hey, Ramsden, because Aiden and I were going to record. And then Aiden was like, well, he can be here. And I was like...
Yeah, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? It could be fun.
I was like, okay, because I like Ramsden. He's dope. So I was like, sure, he can be in it. And then that's how we got that episode.
Golden. Comedy gold.
It was something very special. And I can't say I'm happy with it, but I can't say I dislike it either.
It's a mix.
Yeah. So, welcome back. We're gonna get through 2 challenges this time, and not just one, because I don't want to waste the rest of the series on these fucking stupid Divine Beast challenges or anything. Yeah.
Tur sand seal, way to get picky.
Yeah, we got a sand seal race for this one. This episode is going to be heavily edited. I'm not going to show the travel from one place to another. We really don't need this. But yeah, I just thought I would
just
offer
the important shit.
I thought I would offer a formal apology for last episode. And all of the Jimmy Fallon. Well, because and by the time this episode will be out ages from now. But like, when the episode came out, Jimmy Fallon had not yet been accused of blackface. So like that episode's probably not gonna age too well.
Oh no.
But it is what it is.
Would have been better to literally do Jimmy Kimmel, like I said.
yeah.
And Guillermo, who would never do blackface considering he's a minority.
We recorded that, and then like I swear it was like a week after, Jimmy Fallon was like under like fire for doing blackface on an episode of like Saturday Night Live. And I was like, oh, wonderful. At least Taco Bell hadn't run into any issues.
No, the Crunchwrap Supreme TN still $2.99.
Yeah, so we're good.
I hadn't changed anything.
If anything, Taco Bell has continued to win my love and support, as has Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's
been popping the fuck off. I don't want to get into like all the political stuff.
Yeah.
You know it is the Breath of the Wild series, and we already have done a political episode. But there's nothing quite funnier than like the typical brand response to like a political issue or whatever, where they're like, yeah, we stand in solidarity with everybody, and this is awful, and all this sort of stuff. And their next post is like, oh, by the way, at the local Taco Bell, you know, you get like 2 Doritos Locos tacos instead of 1 or some shit. So it never feels genuine, right?
Yeah.
It's always like sarcastic. Ben and Jerry's, for whatever reason, I don't know who run their Twitter account, but they were like, not only are we going to comment and be in solidarity, we're going to give a whole ass history lesson too behind it as well. And they went hard. They went hard in the paint.
And granted, when this video comes out, this will be you know, probably still relevant because it was a huge fucking thing in America, but like a while ago. But like, still, if you haven't seen that, go ahead and look up like Ben and Jerry's response to the, you know, the recent thing that happened. And it's the best thing on the planet.
It popped off.
I think the second best thing was Lego donating like $4 million and then pulling all of their like White House sets from like store
really?
shelves and like advertising. I was like, that's fantastic. So
Damn.
how'd you like the sand seal challenge, Aiden? Did you like that?
I'm gonna be honest. We were talking about Ben and Jerry's. I did not pay attention to a single thing that was happening on screen.
I think it's funny that the sand seal took me, you know, an episode, and that was like
a 1/18th of an episode. You know, not even a big part of it.
Well, this might come as a surprise, Aiden, but I actually looked up a walkthrough in between episodes, so ooh.
Oh no.
So I might have cheated a little bit. And to
Look,
figure out...
well, if we made it this far into the game where we only had to cheat on the DLC, I don't feel terrible at all.
But like after the catastrophe of last episode, I felt like I had to, right?
Well, no walkthrough would have helped you with what occurred on that episode, because we did like look up an article, how to beat Moldolking on Polygon.
Yeah.
And it still didn't help us because we were like grossly outmatched and did not have the equipment available.
Yeah.
So that episode would have been a disaster regardless. The only thing like we could have done to prevent it, honestly, would have just been prepping like a shit ton of items and resources. But we had Ramsden with us, and we were just down to record a fun episode and shit.
Little did we know
So we
that
never really
was-
thought about that.
That was not a fun episode of Breath of the Wild.
It was fun for me and Ramsden, and maybe not for you specifically.
I'm
I had a
absolutely
blast.
sure that I am over like talking about like it wasn't that awful, right? Of an episode. I enjoyed it. It was just an episode of Breath of the Wild that like wow, I really did not like recording that. It was just one of the most frustrating
fuck.
episodes.
Let me tell you the real shit that happened with that episode that you guys didn't even get to hear about. So,
Oh
I'm so
yeah.
glad I remembered this. We finished recording the episode, and Jay goes, Aiden, something awful happened. And immediately my heart dips, because I just had a blast recording this episode. And when Jay says like Aiden in that tone, I know something fucked up with the recording, and something has gone wrong. We've had it happen a billion times on LHG. And what was the first issue? It stopped recording like near the end of the episode. OBS did.
So yeah, the first issue was the OBS recording. I go to stop. We do our farewells. We're like, yay, goodbye, everyone. Episode's over, and we wrap it up. And then I go to stop recording. I go to click stop recording. It says start recording. So I'm like,
which is not what it's supposed to say.
so I'm like, Aiden, Aiden, we fucked up.
So let me continue then. And then Jay goes, oh, well, let me go check the footage and see when it stopped. And for some reason, it stopped right as when we were going to do that anyway.
Right at
So we
the
got
end.
lucky.
All I'm
there.
gonna have to do in editing, because of course I haven't edited the video yet. All I'm gonna have to do is like add in a little bit extra of like talking,
Yeah.
and then it'll be like perfectly fine. So
But that was the first issue.
Yeah.
We dodged a bullet there. And then, not even like 5 or 10 minutes later, another Aiden. Uh-oh. Something bad happened. And not only did something bad happen, something worse than what previously happened occurred. What was the second issue? Was
So-
it the audio?
So my computer I was exporting the audio, and then my computer had blue screened. And so I was like, shit, my computer blue screened while I was exporting the audio. So I'm like, fuck. I come back in the call and I'm like, Aiden, I'm so sorry. Because we just had the scare of the footage disappearing. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. And he's like, what? And then I go to open Audacity and it's like, you have an unsaved project file. And I tell Aiden, I'm like, God is looking out for you, man. There's no way this should have survived. Because that
like,
shit was okay. Fully fine.
Audacity never does that for me, for starters. And like, secondly, in terms of like having bad luck relating to recording shit, Jay always gets the worst of it. Like, Zach has occasional hard drive scares. I might have to re-record an episode here and there, but Jay, by and large, is the one that gets screwed over
Every
the most.
time.
either losing footage or losing audio or something. So it wouldn't have been out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even be crazy, but I had such a fun time recording that. I'm like, oh God, this entire thing is going to be fucked up because of Jay's stupid ass computer. And I was legit about to get mad. I was about to get pissed off. And I'm like, I need to calm down. And right when I'm calming down is when you inform me that the Audacity file is still there. And oh my God, I hadn't had quite a roller coaster of emotions in the process of filming and recording Breath of the Wild than I did after that episode. Madness. It's madness the whole way through.
You just genuinely had to, there had to have been some like guardian angel for Aden out there. Yeah. Keeping that episode
because the OBS
alive.
file was still fine. We still would have had the gameplay, but nobody would watch that if it wasn't for the commentary.
Yeah,
the commentary is huge, and you can't recreate it either. Like it's a once in a bajillion recording
because if
that like you can't imitate at all.
If you guys have seen that episode, you'll know the recording, the commentary of that is it's stunning.
Yeah. And even if we wanted to, like, Jay was already so fucking done, we probably wouldn't even have gotten around to it for, like, another 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So, like, this recording had to work. And the fact that it did is crazy. Like, if you guys saw that episode, like, it's still fucking insane that that even happened. So, I'm glad I remembered that, because we might have not remembered that story even. And I wanted to share that with you all, because that... Jesus, what a roller coaster.
It's a wonderful story of love, death, and rebirth. That I feel like
I'm thinking about making a Hollywood adaptation.
Hell yeah, dude! Make it a
bring it into cinema.
Fuck.
Did you bazinga yourself again?
We'll be back to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild after these commercial breaks. Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme. Have you ever wanted a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme, but Taco Bell was closed? Well, now with Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme at home, you can craft your own Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme. All it takes is a little effort and a copyright infringement notice. Go to www.copyrightinfringementnotice.com to get your own today.
Oh shit, you already got it open?
Yeah, we're good. You can still do your commercial. It's fine.
Nah, fuck, I can't think of nothing.
Yeah, it was hard.
It's tough.
I had to really rack my brain for the Crunchwrap Supreme one.
Damn.
That's fine. Aiden will have his commercial break later.
We'll just cut back to here. Just cut.
What's going on?
We did it.
We are.
Wasn't too long after.
No,
we cut off, but it was still pretty good.
I was exasperated. Compared to last episode's shrine, this shrine was pretty good. I like the usage of stasis and the electricity so you could walk along the platform you just created. Overall, very well made shrine. I give the shrine a solid 8 out of 10.
Damn.
I'm reviewing shrines now, Aiden. Every shrine we do, I'm gonna review it.
You know, I feel like with the 120 of them, they all should have their individual reviews.
Individually, like lengthy, like video reviews too.
Exactly.
Dude, could you imagine?
I have 120.
Could you imagine someone like sitting down and making 120 videos?
That could be a pretty cool series, honestly. I think it has potential.
I think it would be really dope.
It would have to be a thing where like some videos are obviously just going to be 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
And that's just the fact of it. Some shrines do not deserve having a ton of time, but every now and then you get like a really good 10 or even 20-minute episode for some of the really fire shrines, and you could connect them all together with a pretty good playlist and have themes running throughout. It could be really cool.
You ever had like ice cream that just really tasted awful, but like it was a flavor you like? I'm asking because I bought like this weird brand of ice cream from Walmart the other day, and it was like vanilla ice cream. That shit was fucking disgusting.
There's definitely a hard and fast rule with ice cream that like not all vanillas or even chocolates are the same. Like you would think they would be all like pretty on the same playing field and similar enough to each other, because all it is just fucking vanilla, right? But you'd be surprised like how wildly different homies and their manufacturing is like different for different flavors of vanilla. So much to the point where I notice now they'll have like vanilla ice cream, but then homemade vanilla ice cream, and they'll be adding all these adjectives to the front of it.
And then
And
like
it's like it's fucking vanilla. Like how crazy could it be? It's wild.
yeah, and I guess my mind was just blown because that's like my favorite flavor of ice cream, and so I was hyped to get home and eat some fucking vanilla ice cream, and I hated it. It was awful. That's the same problem I have with chocolate too, though. Like you said, some chocolate's just really good, and then some chocolate's just the worst thing I've ever tried.
And then like that's the problem with getting Neapolitan. Like just they're all it's potentially probably the best flavor because you get 3 in 1, right? Like the problem with that though is if all 3 flavors have to be excellent. If you fuck up one of them, or you don't like some version's brand of chocolate, but you love their vanilla and strawberry, well then the whole thing's ruined, right? Like you have to have all 3 be on point, and I don't know if I could say any ice cream place really does it all that well.
I don't think so. I think they all have a lot of issues with one or 2 flavors. Speaking of ice cream, you had a colorful experience with some ice cream recently, didn't you?
Oh, fuck. I forgot about this. Why'd you bring this up? This legitimately baffled my mind. So last night, me and Jay watching the Back to the Future trilogy. Great trilogy, by the way.
Really solid.
We might talk about this later. I don't know.
Probably.
But we're watching Back to the Future 3. We're in the future. We're having fun. And then about like maybe 15, 20 minutes into the movie or whatever, I have to go to Dairy Queen because my parents are going, and they're like, "You want ice cream?" I'm like, "Yeah, the fuck, I want ice cream." So I tell Jay, "Yo, I'll be back very shortly. It won't take that long. Dairy Queen literally like 5 minutes down the road." Jay's like, "Okay, cool." So we get there, traffic's fine. It's pretty late at night, like 7, 8 p.m. We pull up. And of course, Dairy Queen, the type of place that while it isn't flooding with people, it can occasionally get busy, especially on days like this. The past couple of days in Tennessee have been pretty hot, been pretty humid, and everybody just sort of got the bright idea, hey, let's go get ice cream. So it's like, fuck, we're in a line, and then I'm like, this is going to take longer than 5 minutes. So I'm already worried about like what Jay is going to do, right? And I haven't even been there for like 5 or 6 minutes. Then the line starts moving suddenly out of nowhere. Car goes. They go through the first 3 like rapid fire. We pull up, and the woman there says that it's $12. We pay the money, get the receipt back, and she's like, "Hey, can y'all pull up for me?" And usually, when my mom is in the car, that's the worst thing. She hates when people tell her to pull up. She'll just say no and just park the car and wait. Like she'll just be like, "No, I'm not going." He hates it. But unfortunately, she wasn't driving, and so we had already said yes before she could say anything, not wanting to make a scene. And as we're pulling up, we realize, oh, the 3 cars in front of us, they've also been told to pull up. And it turns out that this line that we thought was here was actually longer than we thought, because there's 2 other cars as well that have already been pulled up. And so there's 5 of us there. And we're like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad. Why are they all pulled up like this? What? They can't have ordered a lot of crazy shit from Dairy Queen. Usually you get a blizzard and you go, right? Like Dairy Queen didn't really do a whole lot of extra shit. And so like 10 minutes pass at least of just us waiting. And we see the other cars finally get delivered their food and all that sort of stuff. And they like ordered one thing like I predicted. And then they come up to us. We roll down the window and she says, here's your food. And she says, sorry, y'all, the ice cream machine exploded. It was a mess. It got all over the place. And then we were like, oh, okay. Not really caring because we just wanted to get the ice cream and dip. And so we did that. Come back. I tell Jay about this. And his first thing is, what do you mean the ice cream machine exploded? And the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I assume ice cream just got everywhere. Because they still gave us our ice cream, right? So the machine had to have been broken for a little while, but we don't know exactly what happened. So me and Jay maybe like for the next 5 minutes, like discuss the absurdity of what must have happened for this whole ice cream disaster to take place.
It was just such a wild thing to come back to.
Yeah.
Because like he was just like, I'm gonna go get ice cream, and I was like, Okay. And so I'm just sitting here. Eventually my back starts to hurt in my chair, so I go lay down in my bed. I start playing Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. And then like homie comes back, he's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh fuck. And so I get out of bed and I get there, and homie's just like, yeah, sorry, the ice cream machine blew up. And I was like, the what? What happened? And then I because the first thing I think is not ice cream shot everywhere. I think like fire.
Yeah.
Like I think like
The whole place burned down
there
or
was an
something.
electrical issue
Casualties.
and it blew up. But then Aden was like, we got our ice cream though, and I'm like, oh, so it wasn't that bad.
No. What I assume happened is the ice cream like came out the machine and just like rapid fire got all over the place, and then they had to clean it, and that's what the wait was for.
Yeah.
But who the fuck knows? Either way, I was pissed off because I told Jay I'd be there in 5 minutes. The actual time ended up being about like 20 to 30 minutes or some shit. And even when I got into a call with Jay, I'd already like eaten half my fucking Oreo Blizzard that I wanted in the first place. So all in all, I'm just very disappointed with the quality of the Dairy Queen in our town. So
It was
I wouldn't leave a Yelp review, but I'm kind of doing it here. So do not go to our Dairy Queen. Very unepic, I'd say.
I just thought
Oh,
that was
shit.
a fascinating story. So yeah, we have to go back and do some YIGA clan shit.
There are always more.
So
Yiga
that'll
clan
be
shit.
epic. Awesome. Save. Oh fuck, I cannot save right now. Okay. It's
It won't
fine.
let you cheat all the way. Just a little bit of cheating.
That's fine. But yeah, it's just like Dairy Queen ice cream exploded. And like, I'm not surprised. I've had my own share of fast food wild and mishaps. One that I'll tell you about, just because I think it's so fucking funny. And literally nobody else will probably find it as funny as I do. But like, my fucking dad, his favorite thing in the world are like waffle cones for ice cream. He fucking loves them. They're the best thing ever for him. And so we're at the fucking coast, and this is important because it's not our usual Baskin Robbins that we go to. So we're at like the beach. We're near the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we're down there, and we get some ice cream late at night because we're hungry. Because we want dessert. We just had a nice day, and we go to the Baskin Robbins, and he's like, yes, I want some peanut butter ice cream with a waffle cone. And Baskin Robbins tells him that they're out of waffle cones. So my dad's like, what do you mean? It's like 6 p.m., right? Like, they shouldn't be out of waffle cones. They don't close until 10. He was confused. And he's not, not one of those, like, let me speak to your manager type of dudes, right? But he
wanted his waffle cone.
But
he wanted a reason.
Yeah, he's someone who gets a little uppity sometimes. Whenever he doesn't, he wanted a reason as to why he couldn't have a waffle cone. They're like, we're out of waffle cones. And he's like, can you make more? I'll wait. And he's like, I'll wait. I'll pay extra. And they just told him no. And homie was like, oh. And then my mom was like, well, we can get something. And my dad was like, no. And so my dad puts me in the car, and and then we get soft serve ice cream from McDonald's.
That's not a replacement for Baskin Robbins.
And
at all.
it really was not. And then my sister
that's-
got pissed off because she wanted Baskin Robbins. Rightfully so. I was a little pissed off too. And then my dad flips his shit. He's like, it's McVanilla or McFucking nothing. Get over it. And so then he's just the fucking... And so we just have soft serve ice cream from McDonald's.
Aw.
And
What a tragedy.
to make matters worse, because it gets worse, we got home, and then a month later, my dad's like, y'all, we should get some Baskin Robbins. And so we go into
No.
Baskin Robbins, and there's
The
no
one at home?
The one at home, and there's no
Okay.
fucking waffle cones.
Again.
And so he's like, what the fuck? Rightfully enraged. And he's like, where's the waffle cones? And they say they're out. And so then we just
They
don't...
had a shortage or something. Like that's weird for two of them to
yeah,
have that same issue.
Like 5 hours apart on opposite sides of the state. And so then we just go home. And then like 3 weeks later, and this is the end of it. This is the end of the trilogy. 3 weeks later, we get to Baskin Robbins because Dad's finally ready to try again. And we walk in, and there's one fucking waffle cone left
Yeah.
And my dad's so excited, and then the kid in front of us orders the last waffle cone.
No. You had it right in front of him the whole time.
And we have not gone back to
Rivali's
Baskin Robbins
scale is
since.
now ready.
It has been
Damn.
3 years. And I
3
just
years? He still hadn't gone over it yet?
it's just he said he's done getting baited and tempted. He is done. And I just think it's the funniest thing in the world.
So what do y'all do for ice cream now? You just do McDonald's every time, or you go without them?
We get milkshakes from Cookout now most of the time, rather than ice cream. But yeah, if we get ice cream, it's generally from like McDonald's, because Dad's at like at least I don't get tempted there.
Yeah.
It was the wildest thing.
I think what's funniest about all of that is like, not only did it happen multiple times, and an increasingly worse predicament, like it had build up. The funniest thing about that entire thing to me was not all of that, but the fact that like if he couldn't get his waffle cone, nobody else got shit from that.
Yeah.
Even though technically there's nothing wrong with the Baskin Robbins establishment. Everybody else would have been fine. Homie could have just got a regular cone at that point if he really wanted the Baskin Robbins.
But no, he said, fuck all y'all.
Nobody gets Baskin Robbins. Not
And
only am I a man of principle, I'm gonna bring the whole family involved, and we're gonna have a crusade against Baskin Robbins.
And I just think it's the funniest thing. Because I like Baskin Robbins.
I do too.
And
They're
so
great.
it's like, I'm a little upset. I quite enjoyed getting Baskin Robbins ice cream because that was our go-to establishment. And I guess my dad decided he got slighted too many times.
He was wronged by the man. Now
So
nobody
he
can
he
eat at the
said,
Baskin Robbins
No
anymore.
more corporations. I'm
Damn.
done. But yeah, that's my wildest fast food story right there.
The episode should be titled Crusade Against Baskin Robbins, and nobody will know what the fuck we were talking about.
Oh, I'm gonna triple check before I throw this down there, but I'm pretty sure I throw the ball down there. Okay, I do. Because I didn't want to drag the ball all the way out here and then throw it down there.
Fuck it
That's
up.
not what I was supposed to do. That was a fun revisit to the Yiga clan area. I didn't really talk about it much because, you know,
It's the same shit.
it's the same shit. And it only took me 2 times, which we're lucky it didn't take me longer. But yeah.
Do we get to fight the homie again?
No, unfortunately we don't. Even though I really love that boss fight.
We love the Yiga clan head leader.
But yeah, that's the wildest fast food story that I have. I'm trying to think if there's any more. There was a time where no, that's about it. I'm trying to think.
The Baskin Robbins trilogy, I don't think will be topped, at least.
Well, cause like
in the near future.
at the coast again, there was an incident at a McDonald's, but I can't remember the specifics. I just know we don't go to that McDonald's anymore. Oh, but that's just wild. Oh, I remember one funny thing. The fucking McDonald's has a short sign. It's like you could touch it with your hands if you're like reasonably tall. You could just touch the top of the sign. And
Oh, really?
apparently the
Weird.
reason the sign is so short is because back in like 1990, I think it is, they just a fucking hurricane blew through and just fucking destroyed the McDonald's. And so they rebuilt everything, but the sign is just tiny. They just didn't build a new sign. And I thought
Just
it was
kept
the
it there.
funniest thing.
Oh, what is this?
In?
This is gambling? Is this basically what this is? How does this work?
You'll be happy to know that I
Yeah.
deadass got no fucking clue how this shrine works.
It looks like bingo, basically. Are you supposed to like count how many of whatever's in there?
I don't. Okay, run forward and use the motion control console to spin the floating box. Your goal is to count how many each color orb are inside the box. It's
Okay.
not easy. There are 1 red, 2 green, 2 yellow, and 4 purple orbs. Awesome, thank you.
Great.
So wait,
Yeah, because imagine having to look through that.
All right, before you go through the gate, all right, when you've placed all the orbs in the correct positions, the gate will open. Okay. So
Yeah,
there's
so each row
Okay.
represents the thing. So you want to put the purple one in the 4th hole.
Okay, and the
Yellow
yellow
and
and the
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah. And the red. So you can technically still guess this. Like you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
necessarily look at it, but the order is at least clear.
And
This is
then-
like that constellation shrine, but like if it actually made fucking sense.
Yeah, this I get this one. If
Just
I
one of
didn't
the-
if I didn't have the guide open, Aiden and I probably could have figured it out quickly. Like,
Well,
it-
I had suggested that like right before. You know, I figured that had something to do with that because you can't get them out of the box. So like, what
Yeah.
else would that be for?
awesome. Okay, I'm sure that was supposed to be a lot harder than it was, but thank you know.
I
Poly-
saw the one red one and the 4 purple, but I had no idea how many greens or yellows there were.
Thank Polygon for getting us through that.
Oh yeah,
Guess
we
there's
used
been a-
Polygon for the Molduking and the Dragon episode, and they've been off and on. Helpful,
I guess it's
but
been a little
sometimes
bit
they
of
can really do it.
of a redemption arc for Polygon.
Good for them.
I've had the walkthrough up on the side of my screen because like I don't want another Modulking. Even Modulking though, it's like again like you said, we knew what we were doing. We were just grossly unpreferred. All right, sweet. What time we at? We are at 33 minutes. Awesome.
Oh shit.
We're gonna
look
go a
at
little
us.
bit over, cause I just want to go ahead and finish Urbosa's song.
Oh yeah, and you'll
So-
cut a lot out anyway.
Yeah.
Travel and shit. Shreds of the
Bro,
realm of memories.
get
Oh.
fricked, dude. Get absolutely unredeemably fricked. Do
Be
not
the freaking
say. So, Ed,
Yeah.
what are your opinions on M&Ms?
The artist or the candy?
The candy, not the artist.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the candy, it's mixed because M&Ms to me are junk food in the biggest sense of the word,
Mhm.
and I don't mean like candy bad for you. I mean like junk food is food that I don't think about when I'm eating it.
Okay.
And M&Ms are literally like throw a bag of them in your mouth and you don't even have any opinion on it whatsoever. It's like literally leaves little impact on me anytime I eat them. They're not bad. They're not awful. The peanut ones fucking blow. Don't even put the peanut ones near me. Regular, fine, whatever. The ones that I stand the most are the mint ones, actually, the green and white ones.
Those are good.
Those I think are the best. But like M&Ms as a candy overall, they're just kind of boring. Like they're just kind of okay, chocolate, cool. I don't hate them; they're not awful, but I don't really have a hard opinion one way or the other.
I think they're just very easy candy to pick up a bag of and just goop them.
Yeah, I used to
Like-
do that with Skittles, but now my teeth can't handle it.
Bruh, fuck Skittles, dude. After a while, Skittles, I just stopped being able to handle
They're
it.
painful. They're painful after a while. And they leave a weird aftertaste in your mouth too.
I used to boof on sour Skittles constantly, and then like
Oh,
sour Skittles just eventually just destroyed my like inner lips.
Ooh.
I'm gonna talk about this, and this is kind of icky, poo-poo, gross stuff. But like
Like Thunderblight Cannon, bro.
my favorite candy in the world, easily Sweet Tarts. I love the shit out of them. To the point where I have an actual problem eating Sweethearts because I just be eating too much of them to the point where I start to get like canker sores inside my mouth, and like I start to just like tear my mouth apart because I eat them so much.
That's rough.
Yeah, and like I know that it's an issue and I shouldn't do it, but like fuck. They taste really good.
Candy nice, bro.
And of course, like I love chocolate too. Don't get me wrong, chocolate's great, but like there's something about Sweet Tart. In my state we have
Chocolate you can hoard
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
easily. Like you can eat a lot of chocolate, and the worst that happens is like, you know, the same milk-related stuff that usually happens if you're like lactose intolerant or whatever. But that's not going to leave like an aftertaste in your mouth. It's very like easy on your mouth, like feel-wise. Any fruit candy, like I'm sorry, after like 2 or 3 bags, I don't care what it is, it just drains you, and it's just like does damage to your teeth and shit. It's just miserable. I preferred fruit candy as a kid. I was like you for the longest time, but definitely as I've gotten older, like I can't do a whole lot of fruit candy anymore.
But like I just fuck with Sweet Tarts still to this day. There's a fucking like candy store in my area that like we ordered like a pound of candy from, and you bet your ass your boy got a pound of fucking Sweet Tarts. I'm still eating that shit. Come on, strike it.
You gotta be a little under 'em.
You freaking dugong
Looking
ass
at
looking clock
fucking
tower.
stinky.
Clock tower,
Poo-poo
bull
stinky.
crap, mother of Obama. What? Come on. Come on.
This is always the hard part of the fight. It's the first phase isn't bad.
I
It's just trying to
think-
line this shit up.
I think
Where are you even at? There it is.
you can't see him half the time.
Yeah, they got a weird filter over it that does not help.
So I wanna make a
The weird lightning
that
effects
I
don't
wanna
help
talk
either.
about here. Awesome. Where I want to say I have an issue with the Zelda fan base and gaming in a nutshell too, about the issues of it hard and challenging and require a little bit of effort, so it bad. Between this and fucking like Thunderblight Ganon is considered like the worst boss in this game because he's slightly difficult. And I want to talk about that, especially compared to like
How did that not kill you?
I have because
Well, now
but, like Thunderblight not bad, he challenging, right? Like he challenging, and I have this issue with Zelda fans too, who like, and you know how I feel about this, but like the Water Temple and Ocarina of Time, homies say that shit hard. No, you just bad at Zelda. Like it's like, I don't get the difference, and like I'm sure again for gaming in general this is an issue, but like,
absolutely.
the fucking like comparison people have between it's hard so it's bad, like I don't get that, because like
I
sure
think-
some things can be like artificially difficult and annoying, but
Right.
like I feel like the majority of the time people just say something's bad because they can't do it, and in that regard it's just a little lazy and dumb to me.
I think there's sides to it. For me personally, like when people say this boss fight is too hard, or this temple is too hard, or this part of the game is difficult, usually it's not so much a critique of the part itself, but the part in relation to the rest of the game. AKA, it did not progress to this point of challenge naturally. It was easy for the rest of it, and then had a weird spike, right? So the
Yeah.
challenge wasn't naturally building. And so moments like Water Temple and Thunderblight stick out when the rest of your game is structured on a pretty like easy curve to follow. And even in Thunderblight's case, I would argue it didn't really get too much harder than him, period. We
Yeah.
peak there, and then Ganon and everybody else is just kind of a little bit lower.
Well even
Same with the Water Temple, where we really don't get quite that again, and then we go back down.
Well, even like Thunderblight, like look at how well I did even without the Master Sword in my gear. It's not that hard of a boss. You just
It's
have
possible.
You just have to
for
know
sure.
what to do. And
But in
I
relation
guess,
to everything else, you don't have
Yeah.
to try as hard. you
yeah, I
know?
guess that's fair. And I guess with the Water Temple, it's the same thing. I feel like too many people say that dungeon's poorly designed and it's too hard, but like that's like in my opinion the best designed dungeon in the game and the most intricately like designed and interesting. And maybe that's why it is so hard, because the rest of the dungeons in Ocarina of Time are fairly like linear and go this direction, go here. You return to a central room, sure, but like none of them are as detailed and layered as that one. And then the game kind of makes up for it. I feel like Nintendo knew, because the next dungeon in the game is the Shadow Temple, and that's the most straightforward dungeon in the game. That is literally point A to point B.
Right, a pace breaker. Basically.
So it's like after you get the hard dungeon that was the Water Temple, here's a really simple dungeon that just takes you from one place to another on a straight path with very little backtracking at all. And then they follow that up with here's the Spirit Temple, which is like longer than any of the others and split up between adult and child Link. So it's like
I will say, too, just in your defense specifically, even though I did give a pretty good reason, I think in your defense, a lot of people are pretty bad at like saying what is and isn't difficult, because like a lot of things in games, difficulty is pretty subjective based on the person and their experience. I think we get into a real bad pattern as like reviewers and not only gamers when we talk about difficulty and what is quote too hard or not hard enough, without realizing that a lot of our experiences are different from other people who play it, some of whom don't find it to be difficult at all. And it would actually be anti-helpful for Nintendo to listen to a vocal minority of people who complain about it, as opposed to like the other 99% who probably just played the Water Temple and moved on. You know, like the comparison to people who liked it and didn't like it was different. But difficulty is subjective for everybody, and what's hard for you might not necessarily be for other people, and the reverse is also true. That's a pretty picture, bro.
Thanks, bro. I try.
I think what would help is, like, for one, people to be like aware of their own intended biases and the types of games they excel at and what they don't excel at. But also, two, is this necessarily a case of something being too difficult, or is it just difficult in relation to the rest of the game? A lot of people also equate like difficulty with just tedious shit. And being tedious is not a sign of difficulty; it just means it wastes your time.
Yeah, I agree.
And so people conflate that as well. This is obviously a bigger discussion, and we're like right at the end of the Breath of the Wild episode, unfortunately. But no, I think it's interesting, especially with Zelda stuff, because a lot of these games rely on the inherent mystery and problem solving in these dungeons. And if the problem isn't fun to solve for a lot of people, that's awful for Nintendo. So they got to be really careful with that more than other series.
Because before we end it, I do want to say, because a lot of people's critiques of the Water Temple are that, oh, the iron boots you got to take on and off, or oh, changing the water level is too hard and annoying to go back. And I'm like, that doesn't mean the dungeon's hard. That means you're just you found something tedious about the dungeon. It's to me,
two different complaints.
And that's you could say the dungeon's tedious. I won't disagree. I love the Water Temple. It's my favorite in Ocarina, but like, yeah, it's tedious. The backtracking is tedious, but like it's rewarding to me at the same time, because it makes me feel like I'm unraveling a little puzzle. And when you get to go through a room you saw 5 minutes ago with something you just gained by going on a completely different path, it's really rewarding. And that's just where I'm at with it. But yeah, this is an interesting discussion.
Hold up.